G'day guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video we're going to be going back to the start of the year. We're going to be reacting to my 2021 AFL season predictions. This video went for about 8 minutes long, so we're just going to see how many predictions I got correct. I'm pretty sure I predicted the grand final, the AFL ladder from 18th to 1st, the Brownlow, and a few others like the Coleman and stuff. So yeah, without further ado, we'll hop straight back on to the video and we'll get straight into it and we'll see how many predictions I actually did get correct. Alright, so here we go. We'll click play straight away. Let's see where we start off.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today is
Alright,
a pretty important one to say the least.
the old setup. And I do remember this video quite,
I did this video
yeah, quite recently, I guess.
for my 2020 AFL predictions.
I do remember this video. I remember filming it, and look at that. I don't even have braces in this video. So this was quite a while ago. Would have been before March.
Predictions I'm going to be going through today are, first of all, the ladder from 18th to 1st. I won't give that much of an explanation on the ladder just because we have a lot more predictions to go through. So the ladder from 18th to 1st, I have the grand final, the premiers, the Brownlow, the Coleman, the biggest upset, and the Rising
Okay,
Star.
so we actually do have a
Without
fair
further ado, let's
few to
straight
get
on
through
with the
here.
first prediction, which is the ladder predictions.
So first is the ladder.
So first of all, in 18th position, I have North Melbourne finishing last.
The Kangas, and that straight away is one correct. So we'll pop a tick. We'll pop a tick somewhere on the screen, which means I did get this position correct. So first, but it was pretty easy to predict the bottom of the ladder. And so first of all, it's correct. That is good to see.
They got rid of pretty much half of their team, so they're in a very big rebuilding stage at the moment, and I reckon they'll take a few years to at least get kicking out of that bottom 5. So in 17th I have the Crows. They finished last.
I don't even know if the Crows finished 17th. I think they finished 16th. They actually had a decent improvement. I've actually got to get up the ladder here on my phone. So 17th was Collingwood. Okay, so the Crows finished 15th. So 2 positions off. Wasn't the worst prediction, but wasn't the best either. So we'll move on.
And I reckon they'll just make the tinsiest bit of improvement.
And they did.
Yeah, so moving on to 16th. Now this is probably one of the controversial ones. The Essendon Bombers I have in 16th.
Oh god, and a lot of people had the Bombers finishing really low on the ladder. They really did surprise everyone. They made finals, but obviously they didn't do anything in finals. The real 16th position was the Gold Coast Suns. Now this is a big cross. That was a horrible prediction.
And I feel like they're just going to drop. At the end of last season, they were performing very poor. I remember they versed Geelong in one game, and obviously Geelong are a very good team, but they did lose, I think, about... they were losing by about 10 goals at half-time, which is just insane to say the least. So I reckon they'll be finishing in 16th, not as bad as Adelaide and North Melbourne.
Look at the dog in the background.
And in 15th position, I have the Hawks, and now...
Oh, they finished 14th. Oh, that could have been actually an alright prediction, but they finished 14th, one above where I predicted. So, once again, not a bad prediction.
A lot of Hawks fans, I reckon, will disagree with this. But I reckon, yeah, they haven't been too great for the past couple of years. And I reckon they'll just keep that really bad form and just finish in that bottom 4 position. 14th, I have Sydney moving up. That's not good. That is not good. 14th position, the Sydney Swans. They finished 6th. They really rose up the ladder though. Like last year they finished, 3rd last? And now they've come up and just somehow made it to 6th on the ladder. So good job from the Swans. But in 14th position, it was the Hawks. Positions on the ladder from the 2020 season. 13th, I have Gold Coast. You know, Matty Rowell, and I reckon Matty Rowell. 13th
was Carlton. The Suns finished down in 16th. So that one was a little bit off.
Will have a fantastic year and everything, but I still think that he just won't be able to carry the team up any further past 13th position on the ladder. 12th. Now here is where I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me. 12th, I have Carlton. Believe it or not.
Oh, I was one off again. These predictions actually aren't that bad. The Blues finished 13th. I tipped them to come 12th, which is not a bad prediction. The real 12th position was the Tigers, so not a bad call. One off. Not bad.
A lot of people thinking they're going to even squeeze into the 8 or possibly like come just outside of the 8. But I have them in 12th. I just don't think they're going.
And actually, no, this was a good prediction because a lot of people were expecting the Blues to get into the finals, and I was one of those people saying, mate, you don't have a chance. You are finishing outside the top 10, and they did. They did. So it was a good prediction because a lot of people were like overestimating the Blues and what they can actually do, and they didn't have that good of a season. They had a few good wins here and there, but really their season was quite poor.
Rise up like everyone else does. 11th, I have GWS, and I don't know.
And that is a pretty bad prediction as well. They came 7th on the ladder, and they also did shock everyone. They're a bit like the Swans. They haven't had the best few seasons, but they really rose up here because they were expected to finish outside that top 8. And geez, I've tipped them for 11th, and they have come 7th. So pretty bad prediction, and we'll move on to see who I have in 10th position now.
Switch GWS and Carlton around. That would probably be a smart idea.
The actual 11th place was the Dockers.
So keep it as it is. 10th, I have the Dockers.
So the Dockers finished 11th. I predicted them to come 10th. So all up, these predictions haven't been too bad. Like, I reckon I've got more than majority of them, at least one off. So they haven't been too bad. The Dockers finished 11th. I tipped them to come 10th. We'll move on.
Just missing out on finals. And I reckon with our very young list, we'll definitely rise up. And I reckon possibly in the 2022 season predictions, I might even have us in the 8. Depending.
Yeah, see, I wasn't very confident in us this year. That's why I said in the 2022 predictions, we could be a top 8 side. And that's exactly what I'm thinking now. So I'm sticking with my prediction from the start of this year. I think this was maybe filmed early March, I would say. Early March this year. So I said maybe in the 2022 predictions, I'll tip the Dockers to come into the 8. And I reckon I might do that.
How we go in this year's season. In 9th position on the ladder, we have Collingwood and...
Oh no. They finished second last.
I think would predict them finishing lower than 9th, but I still...
Yeah, I called it. I said a lot of people will probably see them finishing lower than 9th. And they finished second last on the ladder. That is shocking. We're just going to move on straight from that. The real 9th positioned team that placed there this year was the Eagles.
I think that they'll be alright, but just won't make the 8. I reckon they'll miss out on the 8 by a fair bit. But yeah, finishing 9th position. 8th, we have Melbourne. Squeezing.
You see, this was actually a good prediction at the time because nobody knew that they were going to do what they did and finish on top of the table and win the premiership. So, at the start of the year, it seemed like a pretty good prediction, but I was far off. I was far off to reality.
Into the 8, and a lot of people, I think, predicting that the Melbourne Demons will finish in the top 8, whether that's 8, maybe around 8th, 7th or 6th, maybe in those positions.
They finished first, mate.
In 8th position. In 7th position, I have West Coast.
And West Coast finished 9th on the ladder. The real 7th positioned team was the Giants. So, pretty bad prediction. The Eagles had a pretty poor season. They had an alright start to the season, but just the end of the year was pretty poor for them.
I feel like they will drop down a little bit, but still
they dropped
good enough as a team to squeeze into
they weren't.
6, I have the Saints finishing 5.
No, that's a bad prediction. The Saints finished 10th. They had a decent year. They had a really slow start, but it was only just in the last few rounds when they started to climb up the ladder, gain some momentum, and they just missed out in finals. If there was a few more rounds left in the season, I reckon they could have had a chance of making the 8. But thinking they're going to come 6 is a bit of a stretch. They finished 10th in the actual ladder. We'll move on.
Position, I have the Western Bulldogs.
The Doggies in 5th. And look at that! The Doggies have come 5th on the table.
This is a pretty big prediction, to say the least, actually. The Bulldogs finishing 5th on the ladder. I reckon they'll be one of the best teams in the comp this season.
And they were one of the best teams in the comp. They made the grand final. They were one of the best teams in the comp. Oh, this prediction is insane.
And I reckon they'll be a very exciting team to watch.
Yep.
And yeah, one of the best teams, as I just said.
Yeah.
In 4th position,
good prediction.
I have Port Adelaide.
So Port finished 2nd. Brisbane were the real 4th finishers.
They did finish 1st first last year, but I reckon they'll just drop off a little bit. Still finishing in the top 4 though. Third, I have Richmond.
Nobody expected for the Tigers to drop off as much as they did. Their drop off was extremely horrible. I've predicted them to come third, and they finished 12th. They finished below the Dockers. So for them to finish below the Dockers is a poor season. They finished 12th, and I predicted them to finish third.
Position I have Brisbane because of their
Brisbane finished 4th, and the real Port Adelaide. The real position, for the Lions was 4th. Port Adelaide finished 2nd on the table. Now, who do I have in first? I'm pretty sure, well, it's Geelong, because that's the only team I haven't mentioned yet, I think.
I reckon they'll make 2nd on the table, and first I have Geelong.
Yeah, okay.
So, the Cats, obviously...
the Cats finished 3rd.
Last year's grand final, I reckon they'll keep up that fantastic form and finish top of the table, minor premiers. And now, with the ladder predictions done, we're going to move on to the grand final.
So, grand final prediction, here we go. This is huge.
It's going to be Brisbane versus Port Adelaide.
Oh, God. I feel like that was a lot of people's first instinct to go. Brisbane making the granny. But we've learned from this year and the past few previous years, Brisbane can't play in finals. They are just horrible. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe they could have a spark this year. They were meant to be pretty good this year, the Lions. And they were. They were a great side until finals came. And Port were a pretty good side. They were a good side as well until the prelim final when they got smashed by the Dogs. So, the prediction, it was good for at the time, but now looking back on it, probably could have done a little bit better. Let's see what else I have to say.
Adelaide will make the granny. Port Adelaide versus Brisbane, and I reckon the Brisbane Lions will win the grand final.
Okay, well that obviously didn't happen.
A lot of people are predicting the Lions to make the grand final and are probably going to be premiers.
Yeah, here.
And I'm going to be another one of those people and just predict Brisbane for the premiers because their form has been outstanding for the past 2 years, from 2019 to 2020. Their form has been incredible, and I reckon they'll keep it up and hopefully not choke in finals like they usually do, and hopefully get the job done.
Yeah, well, they did choke in finals.
To the
Brownlow.
Travis Boak. So the top 10.
Ooh, Trav Boak. So it was obviously. So obviously it wasn't Travis Boak. It was Ollie Wines. So same team, different player.
Travis Boak is finishing in 9th out of that 10. But yeah, I reckon Travis Boak had an outstanding season last year. He was, I think, in the top 5 race, if I'm not mistaken, to win the Brownlow. So I reckon he'll, keep up that fantastic form, and I reckon he might even win for Norm Smith in the grand final versus the Lions. If he wins the Brownlow, I reckon he'll win the Norm Smith as well. Coleman medal, I have Charlie Dixon.
Oh, God. A lot of people had Dicko to win this. And because he was really good last year in the 2020 season, he has dropped off a massive amount this year in terms of form, and he wasn't close in winning the Coleman, I don't think. Harry Mackay was obviously the actual winner. We'll move on and see what else I have to say about this.
Biggest upset is up next.
Oh, no.
I have, believe it or not, I have the Freo Dockers beating the Geelong Cats.
Well, this obviously didn't happen. There was a Thursday night clash between the Dockers and the Cats at Optus, and what happened? We lost by 10, well, instead of us winning by 10 plus points, we lost by 10 plus goals. So this prediction, far off correct. Don't even know what I was thinking with this prediction.
By 10 plus points. And just reminding you, the Dockers came 10th in my predictions, and Geelong came top of the table. So I reckon the Dockers will win against.
It doesn't matter, because that didn't happen. So.
We did this in 2019. I do not know.
Yeah, we did do it in 2019, so fair prediction.
I think it was around. I think we won against them by 20. No, I think it was almost like 35 points. So yeah, smashing in 2019, and hopefully we can do it again and beat the Cats for this biggest upset prediction. And for the last prediction of the day, it's pretty obvious one. Rising star Matt Rowell, obviously last year.
No, I didn't see much of Matt Rowell this year. Once again, like Dicko and a few others, like I've mentioned in this video, he has dropped off so much. It was incredible to see how he was racing in, like how he polled so well in the Brownlow last year, and he only played like 4 games, and it was his first season, was insane. For him to come out and get like 12 disposals each match was just really weird to see, because we all thought he was going to be a really, really big impact to the Suns list, but he really wasn't. He didn't add much this year. And there we go. So, the predictions were a little bit off here and there. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. Obviously, this video only happens once a year, so it's pretty special. So if you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.